Hi, it's Mike DelSignore, Massachusetts OUI Lawyer. In today's video, I want to talk about what happens if you're arrested for OUI and your case is going to be heard in the Edgartown District Court. Edgartown's a court I've been going to for years. I've handled a lot of cases there over the years. So if you're arrested and face an OUI charge, call, text me. I can help you make the best decisions for yourself, understand the license consequences, the defenses to your case. Now, many people arrested on Martha's Vineyard will potentially be from out of state. Keep in mind, even if you're from out of state, there are license implications that could affect you, not only in Massachusetts, but your home state. So it's definitely important to fight the case. Now, OUI charges are very subjective. It's a crime of opinion. It's easy to get arrested for OUI, difficult to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. High level of proof, and the evidence is very subjective, uncertain. Things like field sobriety tests, there's a lot of reasons why you might not have been able to balance perfectly on one leg. There are a number of reasons. Maybe it's your shoes, weather conditions, medical issues. Maybe the officer rushed through the instructions. Sometimes I've seen when on video with officers stop someone in the middle of the test. They interrupt the person in the middle of the test. So there's a lot of reasons that these tests are not accurate. A lot of times when I look at the report, in most instances, I feel like that the field tests are going to help you, because a lot of times the reports are missing details that I know from my experience the officer will admit to at trial and will show that you're not impaired. So there's a lot of different clues on these tests. The officers only put the negative details. They don't put what you did correctly. I'll bring that out in cross-examination when it goes to trial, but I'll also let you know how the case is likely to be presented in court and what is favorable to your defense that you might not see just from reading the police report. So the field sobriety tests, don't assume those tests prove you're impaired. A lot of times I use those tests to prove just the opposite, that they show reasonable doubt. I'm looking for major observations on these tests, things like stumbling, staggering. If the officer, sometimes the reports will say you missed heel to toe, you're unsteady, things like that. When it comes out at trial, those observations may not be significant enough to show that you're under the influence of alcohol. If there's a breath test, don't assume that's admissible in evidence. A lot of times we can get these breath tests excluded from evidence. There's different rules and regulations that police must follow in order to admit a breath test in evidence. So I've been doing this for 25 years. I'll be happy to go over the methods I've used to challenge breath tests and keep them from being admitted in court. I've had cases where breath tests have come in and people have been found not guilty. These machines are not reliable. They make assumptions about people that are not accurate for everybody. They assume everyone has the same blood-breath petition ratio. They could be affected by medical conditions such as asthma, acid reflux, and there's potential contamination through mouth alcohol. So if you took a breath test, you only lost your license for 30 days. After 30 days, you get your full license back. If you refuse, it's a 6-month suspension on a first offense. After 6 months, if the case is still pending, you can get your full license back. So cases in Edgartown District Court, sometimes there's a little more flexibility. Most courts in Massachusetts, you're not going to be able to get a dismissal of the OUI, but there is a possibility that the DA would reduce the OUI to a negligent operation. I've had that done before, but you're going to have to work for it. So do as much alcohol treatment as possible while the case is pending. DA may say no, but it can't hurt, and it will probably help you in your life since you're charged with OUI. If alcohol is not an issue, going to these meetings can never be a negative. It might give you a different perspective. So keep in mind when you do things like that, it never hurts the case, but it can help the case, and especially in Edgartown District Court. So what are the potential penalties? If you admit to an OUI, generally on the first offense, you're going to get a continuance without a finding. You have to do an alcohol education program, 45-day license loss. But I've had better dispositions than that even prior to trial. These are hard cases to prove. It takes a lot of evidence to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt. It means the highest degree of certainty. So beyond reasonable doubt means more than there's a suspicion. A judge instructs a jury, and the judge will apply the same standard to bench trial, that it's not enough for a probability, even a strong probability. That doesn't mean beyond reasonable doubt. So that's a high standard of proof. So just because you were arrested doesn't mean they can prove the case in court. I win these cases routinely. and we'll help you. I'll go over your report, tell you what the best defenses are in your case, and help you make the best decisions for yourself about whether you want to take the case to trial, resolve the case. You can reach me, call by phone or text at 781-686-5924. My name is Mike DelSignore, here to help you on your OUI case. This is my passion. I've been doing this for about 25 years. You can look me up online. I've been interviewed by the media. I've won an award on DUI defense. I really enjoy this work, and I'll be happy to help you.